Hi guys, welcome to a new vlog. It is Friday evening. And as always, I have immensely big plans. First of all, I'm gonna clean out under our kitchen sink because as I mentioned in a vlog ages ago, they are currently doing construction on our building. They are tearing down our balconies and redoing all the siding, which I understood, but I don't think I understood the level of construction that would be happening. Like, I live on a construction site. This was my balcony. Like, hi, I live in a construction site. This is where I live. Everything is fine. But as you can see, they tore down our balcony, so we have to find a spot to put the stuff that was on our balcony. Luckily, we have a friend who took all of our patio furniture and put it in his basement. But like our recycling stuff, I need to clean out under the kitchen sink and find a spot for it. Riveting, I know. Once again, like, this is why you tune in. I have the wildest Friday nights. I'm so out of control. It's insane. But in reading news, I have, I think, like 2 or 3 short stories left in Just After Sunset. So I'll be finished this tomorrow morning for sure. If not tonight, but tomorrow morning for sure. And I don't know what the fuck I want to read next. So we also need to figure that out tonight. And by we, I mean me. You're just going to watch me figure it out. So yeah, I'm going to go clean under the kitchen sink. I'm not going to film it for you because that would be a new level of low even for me. I moved the shoe rack to block the kitchen so Obi wouldn't be like getting in all the garbage and under the sink. He's so mad at me. Oh, buddy, I'm sorry. Okay, so here's the reading debacle that I am in because I just, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want to read next. Like, I'm really craving a fantasy, but I'm also really craving like a adventure thriller, but I also want to like maybe read another thick boy. So here's the books that I cannot decide which one I'm going to read first tomorrow. Like, this is stupid, but there's too many books. Okay, fantasy ones first. Oh, this one is Mercedes Lackey. This is Arrows of the Queen, which is the first book in a trilogy. I have read a few Mercedes Lackeys before, but they were all kind of like standalone, so I haven't really read one of her series before, but this one sounds really intriguing, and it's pretty short. So like, it's only 320 pages, and the writing is really big. So maybe this would be a good one for the fantasy wise, because it's like, I could just like plow through it and like get my fantasy fix and like move on with my life. But then the other 2 fantasies that I have are Robin Hobb, who I love very much. I've actually read this one before, Dragon Keeper. This is the first one in the Rain Wilds Chronicles. And I have read this, and I read it, it must have been like 5, what is time? I don't even know anymore. I was living in this apartment when I read it. Or was I? It was at least 4 years ago, but probably not longer than 6 years ago. I want to continue with this series, but because it's been so many years, I don't really remember much for the first book. All I remember is that it's like, there's so much perspective from the dragons themselves, and it was like this really complex, like, dragon, like, telekinesis? Is that the right word? I loved it. Like, I loved it so much. And then I was like, oh, I'll get to the second book. And then obviously I never did because I'm terrible with series. But I really want to read it so I can get to the rest of the series because I loved it. So this one is, oh, this is actually considered a thick boy if you think about it, because this is 511 pages. But it's also a tiny paperback. So the other one is also by Robin Hobb. As I said, this is Fool's Errand. I actually don't know much about this one at all. I picked this up from that fantasy bookstore, fantasy and sci-fi bookstore that we went to. And honestly, the dude just looks really sassy. Like, I don't really like books that have male main characters, I find it really hard to relate to them, and also I'm just sick of it. Like, I don't really want to read a man's perspective all the time, but I do love very specific male characters, and those are usually very sassy. They usually have long hair, and I just have a very specific type. And I looked at this cover and I was like, uh-oh, this is my type. He looks sassy. Look at his fashion. He's got a cane. Hi, we love this. So yeah, I don't know anything about this. And actually, this is also a thick boy because this is 662 pages. So I don't know, maybe these ones are not. I don't know. I'm so flustered, you guys. The other fantasy that I really want to read right away is The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. And like, everyone on Bookstagram is loving this and raving about it. And everyone on BookTube is reading it and raving about it. And I'm like, I want to go on the adventure. I have the book. I want to go with you guys and enjoy it. And obviously I have a thing about dragons, okay? I mean, look, if you're a fantasy reader, you probably fucking love dragons. And let's see, this one is 478 pages. So it's not too bad. And yeah, so that's a possible. And then my like adventure thriller type is Deception Point by Dan Brown. Yeah, so obviously Dan Brown wrote the Da Vinci Code, which I didn't read, but this sounds like right up my alley. Like when a NASA satellite discovers an astonishingly a rare object buried deep in the Arctic ice, the floundering space agency proclaims a much-needed victory, a victory with profound implications for NASA policy and the impending presidential election. To verify the authenticity, oh my god, why does that word keep popping up? To verify the find, the White House calls upon intelligent analyst Rachel Sexton, accompanied by charismatic scholar Michael Toland. Rachel travels to the Arctic and uncovers the unthinkable, evidence of a scientific fraud. But before she can warn the president, Rachel and Michael are ambushed by mercenary assassins. Like, this sounds wild. Like, there are 1,000 things going on in just the blurb about the book. So imagine what the book's going to be like. I bet it's like a super fast read. Oh, look, there's a bookmark. Anyway, yeah, this is probably like a super fast read, and I could probably plow through this weekend. But like, am I in the mood for it? I am, but I don't know what to do. And lastly, this is, you know, a thick boy. This is a real thick boy. These little babies ain't got nothing on this guy. Look, 2 of them are not even. So, as I mentioned in my summer reading challenge video, I started reading The Stand in February, and I got halfway through, and then I stopped because it was getting boring. I got to that just like very boring part. If you read The Stand, you know, it's just a little bit of a drag. Like, everyone's starting to come together, but it's a lot of like, we're walking down the road and we're having visions of this and that, and like, you're just like, can we just get together and get to the next point, please? Like, I'm gonna have to take a weekend to read this. Like, I don't want to bring it to and from work because it's such a pain in the ass to carry around and also read outside while I'm smoking a cigarette and people are judging me and they're like, why is your book so big? And I'm like, mind your own business. But maybe this isn't the weekend for it. I don't know. But because I'm currently reading a Stephen King book, I'm like, well, now I want to keep reading Stephen King. Imagine having real problems, you guys. Like, at least my problems are I cry too much, I have anxiety, and I don't know what books to read. I think I'm gearing towards, okay, well, this is 4 of them. I'm just going to make a decision. We're just going to do it, which I can totally do. I'm great with decisions. I'm scared I'm going to make the wrong decision. You know what? We're going to go with this one. We're going with The Shadow of the Gods. I want some dragons. I want some big fantasy. I want some epicness. This is it. Okay, we did it. We made a decision. These are the 2 books I'm going to try and read this weekend. Woo! I did it. I'm so good at making decisions. All right, it is Sunday afternoon and I am taking the dogs for a walk. I started In the Shadow of the Gods this morning, no, yesterday, and I am just over halfway through. I'm really enjoying it. It's like 3 separate characters and their stories are all very separate. I'm assuming they all conjoin at some point. This is like the first in the series. I always find it a little bit harder when there's like 3 separate stories or more and they don't conjoin, because you have to like keep track of which story, which character, which story, that kind of thing. But I like all the characters. I like the fantasy element of it. I love the lore. I think it's really great so far. And this evening I have started rereading The Stand, picking up where I left off. I was listening to this podcast that kind of breaks down The Stand, I think, into 4 parts. And they do like a deep dive into the story and the characters and the meaning, and they talk about what it's like to read it during an actual pandemic. And so that got me kind of psyched to go back and read it. So I've just read a chapter of that. So yeah, that's where we're at for Sunday afternoon. Hi guys, it is Monday morning and I thought I would wrap up the weekend vlog here. I had a great reading weekend. I read, let's see, 298 pages of The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne, and this is a Nordic based fantasy. There's not really a through plot line. It's, like I mentioned earlier, 3 individual plot lines that haven't really connected yet. But the world is really cool. All the characters are really like fleshed out and unique, and the world building is incredible. It's just really, really fascinating to read. Though I am curious to see how this book ends, because I've only got about 100 pages left, and again, these storylines are separate. So are they going to join at some point? I don't know. I also read 100 pages of The Stand last night, which is wild because that middle part is such a slog that it was taking me like 2 days to read 50 pages. And then last night it was like I just hit my rhythm and the book picked up again and I knocked out 100 pages and I'm loving it. Oh, The Stand is so good. It's so good. That like little 100 pages in the middle sucks. Everything else amazing. So yeah, that's my reading for this weekend. This week, I don't know how it's going to go. Fingers crossed it's a good week. I know there's a few new releases coming out that I want to pick up, so I'll probably go to Chapters tomorrow and bring you guys with me, obviously, and do a little book haul. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope that you have an awesome week.